Hello everyone. Today I wanted to share with you a recipe from Argentina. As you can see, I have meats. Those are beef. I bought it in Walmart, um, and they come in pre-cut. So what we're using is eggs and garlic. I buy the garlic already in a jar, salt, black pepper, parsley, and breadcrumbs is the last steps that we're gonna use. And I start with the beef. As you can see, they're very thin, very tender, so I need to mix the eggs with the garlic and the parsley, and also put salt and pepper to not only each of the beef but the eggs as well, and the breadcrumbs will be the last steps. So I'm gonna start, and that container is to put the milanesas after I have finished it. So I'm gonna salt and pepper each of the beef, as you can see. Not to add much salt because everything's gonna have salt. Even the eggs, that we are mixing, will have salt. So just a little bit, sparkling a little bit each of the beef, and the same things I do both sides, and I also will add a little pepper. So I'm gonna try to speed up this process. Uh, this is the pepper, the black pepper that I'm putting in each of the beef. Also, not too much, just little tiny amount in each of the beef, because also there's gonna be a black pepper in the mix of the eggs and the garlic and the parsley as well. So everything has a seasoning. If you would like to put any other seasoning as well, that's up to you. I normally use salt and pepper only. Uh, not to overwhelm, because the meat already has a flavor itself, so you don't want it to overwhelm the flavor. So I'm just putting salt and pepper on the other side of the meat, each of them. And it's a little bit tedious, this process, because there's a bunch of beef cut, but the thinner the better. And they usually, with the crumbs, becomes a little bit thicker, and they're very, very tender when you eat. And in Argentina, usually children love milanesas with french fry. um, I choose to make other type of companion with this milanesas, because my son eat french fries pretty often. So I just try just to give him a little bit of vegetables, and not overwhelming with french fries all the time. So now I have the container. I'm going to use 2 eggs for the amount of meat that I have, because if you use only 1 egg, it's not going to be enough. You need to make sure that the beef will be soaked in that uh, eggs with the garlic and the parsley. So I'm whisking the eggs, as you can see, and after I mixing the 2 eggs pretty well, I'm gonna seasoning. Like I say, I only use salt and pepper to do that. So I put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, just to give it flavor, and mix it very well. And then I'm gonna start putting the beef inside. Well, I actually have to add the garlic, and I usually add 1 tablespoon of garlic. I don't have much in this jar, so it was pretty hard to me to use the measuring spoon. So I grab a normal a spoon, like a soup spoon, just to avoid the liquid, and only grab the garlic in the jar. I'm almost at the end of the jar, so I'm trying to use it. And it's easy. I don't have to. If you would like to use fresh garlic, that's also very good. I just don't like the smell in my hands after working with garlic, so I prefer just use the garlic that comes in a jar. I'm adding the parsley now, about 1 tablespoon. I do it, normally I took a lot of there, but I didn't put all of it, so kind of 1 tablespoon of the parsley. I mix very well, just to make sure that everything is become mixed with the eggs. And after I have everything mixed, I'm going to add the meat inside. I put all the meats at one, and then what I do is, after I add all the meat, I let it sit for about 30 minutes or so. You can use the beef right away and do use the breadcrumbs immediately. I just prefer to sit the meat in on the eggs, so it absorbs the flavor of the eggs, and the meat is mixed as well. So I'm just trying to get all the beef in the container, and they all have to be soaked in the eggs. So I'm just kind of uh, turning around the meat, just to make sure that all the beef get the same amount of eggs and garlics and parsley, so all have the flavor of that mix together. It really soaking the meat in this eggs with garlic and parsley, it actually add a very nice flavor. So after I have all the meat in the egg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit that for, like I say, I left it for 30 minutes or so, and make it the meat gets very soaked in that preparation. You can put it in the refrigerator if you want. I just left it on the counter. I didn't need to, and then I took a chance just to. Here I choose this container because I have to put the breadcrumbs, and I need kind of a container that is a little deep to me to be able to handle the meat. So I pour almost 1 container for the amount of beef that I have. After I put the amount of breadcrumbs that I needed, I'm gonna start adding the each of the beef in the crumbs. I just make sure that just mix it all the meat again with the eggs, to try to start using the meat that was in the bottom of the container with the eggs before I use the one on the top. So all the meat gets amount of eggs. So it's a very simple process. Just put the meat in the breadcrumbs, and then add the breadcrumbs on top of the meat, and try to make sure that the breadcrumbs stick in the meat. Very thin cover. It doesn't have to. If you would like to have more breadcrumbs, what you can do is once you pass the meat, the beef, with the breadcrumbs, you can put it back in the eggs again, and put it back in the crumbs, so it's going to be a thicker layer of crumbs, breadcrumbs, for each of the beef. I just prefer to have a light, because it's just the way that we prepare that in Argentina. So we do this process for each of the beef, and what I do is, after I got the beef, as you can see, very thin, and the meat becomes larger for some reason when I add the crumbs. It make the beef very large. So I have the container for the little oven that I use. So I put a little olive oil in the bottom, and put the beef. Of course, you have to, if you have family, you can use a traditional oven. I just use the small oven because it's more practical for me. I do one beef at a time, and I give it to my son right away when it's hot, and while I'm cooking the other beef, after the one that I put it is ready. So I'm going to continue doing the breadcrumbs with the rest of the meat. And you don't need to cook all the Milanesas at once. The good thing with this recipe is, after you finish, you put it in the container, and the glass container is better. And when they have already the bread, you put them in the container, and you can put them directly in the freezer. And when you wanted to eat them again, just take it out of the freezer and put it in the oven directly. You don't need to unfreeze the meat before cooking it. It can be totally frozen, and the oven will do the right cooking time. They actually cook very fast because the meat is very thin, so they usually take about maybe 5 to 8 minutes. I try just to put them in the oven and flip them when I see that they're a little gold color. I don't let them cook much, because the meat becomes actually hard if you cook too much. So here I have it in the oven, and I was ready to serve it to my son. As you can see, very gold the color. Just gonna put just 1 minute or so more on the other side, and this is the rest of the beef. They're very big. I usually eat one Milanesa myself, and I decided to serve with avocado to my son. My son loves lemons, so that's another thing that you add at the end. After the Milanesa is done, it's totally cooked, you put on a plate, and if the person that will eat it like the lemon, you can add lemon on top of the Milanesa. It added a very nice flavor, and of course with the avocado, it's a perfect companion because you salt, a little olive oil, and lemon juice to the avocado is perfect for and it's, not a heavy meal. Easy, very easy to cook. You can have them prepare with anticipation and only cook them in the oven right away. They don't take that long to cook, and serve it. They're delicious. You won't regret it. Just try it and let me know. Thank you.